Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Hey everyone, welcome into Game to Game Big Ten Edition. I'm Jourdan Black. It is week 5 in the NCAA college football season. Ohio State, Minnesota, and Penn State all put their undefeated streaks on the line, while the Wisconsin Badgers and Northwestern Wildcats looked for bounce-back performances this week. We kick things off in Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes played host to the Michigan Wolverines. Iowa entered dead last in total offense, but number 1 in scoring defense. Despite a lack of balance, they've navigated their way to a 3-1 record. The Wolverines hit the road as the 4th-ranked team in the country and look to continue the dominant play of their offensive line in front of the hot hand of Blake Corum out of the backfield. Trent Condon has the post-game reaction for Locked On Hawkeyes.
On a day where Michigan outplays Iowa, the referees helped as well as the Wolverines pull off the victory in Kinnick Stadium. I'm Trent Condon from the Locked On Hawkeyes podcast as Michigan runs their record to 5-0 on the season. Iowa takes their second loss of the year. Early on, it was the offensive line of Michigan pushing around the vaunted Hawkeye defense. Controlled the line of scrimmage, a fourth-quarter touchdown from Iowa. Not enough as the Wolverines get it done here from Kinnick Stadium. For more, check out Locked On Hawkeyes, as we'll be with you all week long.
The Minnesota Golden Gophers finally cracked the top 25 with their undefeated start, standing 21st entering Saturday. Tanner Morgan went 23 of 26 with 3 scores as Minnesota made quick work of Michigan State just a week prior. Now playing at home and laying 12.5 points to the Boilermakers, the Golden Gophers look to go 5-0 to start 2022. Purdue has been effective in run defense at times, yet has been unable to hold up in key moments against Syracuse and Penn State. Now on the road in Minnesota, the Boilermakers look to get out early and take home this win. Kane Robb from Locked On Golden Gophers covers the post-game reaction for us.
No Mo ended up being a big problem for the Golden Gophers. The Gophers fall in homecoming to Purdue 20-10. We only had 47 total rush yards. Mo Ibrahim did not play in this game, and there were self-inflicted issues all over this game for the Gophers. Offense poor, defense held strong throughout most of the occasion. Lots to talk about on this one. Be sure to follow us at Locked On Golden Gophers. When we rise in the rankings, the harder we fall with a loss like this. We'll talk about it at Locked On Golden Gophers. This is Kane Robb signing off.
No, the Wisconsin Badgers will not put the Week 4 tape against Ohio State on the highlight reel, but a short memory is key in every college football season and, well, game, really, right? The defense looked to pressure quarterback Tommy DeVito and continue to force turnovers while playing a steady offensive game. A 7-point underdog, the Fighting Illini needed to stick to their method with a consistent running attack and controlling the time of possession in what looked to be an evenly matched affair. Ryan Herrings from Locked On Badgers has the post-game reaction.
Well, there is trouble in Madison. Paul Chryst and the Wisconsin Badgers drop a home game to the Fighting Illini 34-10 in a game that they quite frankly got bludgeoned in. I am Ryan Herrings, your host of Locked On Badgers, and let's talk about it. This team has no identity anymore. Braylon Allen, their star running back, and a really talented dude ran for 2 yards? Are you kidding me? 2 yards? The Badgers could get nothing going on the ground. Graham Mertz threw a couple picks. And the defense uncharacteristically looks a little soft at times. This is a Wisconsin team that is poised for a bit of a tailspin here. And the questions about Paul Chryst, should he remain coach of Wisconsin and where this program is going are only becoming louder and louder in the background. I am Ryan Herrings, host of Locked On Badgers. Let's talk about it every day. Come follow the show.
Rutgers may be 3-1, but as Wisconsin learned a week ago, your record means nothing when you're taking on the juggernaut that is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Eliminating turnovers and controlling the clock might offer a chance to keep this one close, a relative term given the 39.5-point spread. With just 2 turnovers this season and only 4 penalties in the last 2 games, the number 3 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes play clean, dominant football week after week. Jay Stevens from Locked On Buckeyes breaks this game down.
If I told you C.J. Stroud threw for less than 200 passing yards, his completion percent was under 60%, and he threw an interception. Oh, add in Travion Henderson not playing in the game, and the Buckeyes being without 2 of their top 4 corners, you might think the Buckeyes might struggle in this game. They struggled in some areas, But also, the Buckeyes flourished when it comes to scoring the touchdowns. Mayan Williams had a 5-touchdown performance against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. The Buckeyes defense continues to be elite, holding the Scarlet Knights to under 200 yards of total offense. Now, Rutgers hurt themselves using multiple quarterbacks, and it just seemed like they could never get into a groove. The Buckeyes game was kind of boring, kind of blah. It lulled you to sleep. The excitement in the second half was Ryan Day, Greg Schiano getting into it after a fake punt by the Buckeyes. I'm here for that interaction. It put a smile on my face. And the Buckeyes have a lot of things to fix going into their game next week with the Michigan State Spartans. The Spartans aren't good, but you would hope the Buckeyes play a whole lot better next week than they did today.
Nebraska may be at home for the Saturday night matchup with Indiana, but their 127th ranked defense has got to find some sign of stability and look for the offense to explode to hold off the 3-1 Hoosiers. If Indiana could eliminate the mistakes that cost them against Cincinnati, they could be right back to their winning ways. And from Locked On Hoosiers to provide the road team's coverage, here's Jacob Rude.
There needs to be some pretty extensive soul searching after this one. This is Jacob over at Locked On Hoosiers. Indiana falls to Nebraska 35-21 on Saturday night on the road. And really, with all due respect, this was a truly, truly bad Nebraska team coming into this one that, save for a stretch in the second quarter, did whatever it wanted on Saturday night and completely punked the IU offense and defense. Should be noted, IU was without its top two receivers, Cam Camper and DJ Matthews, but the long list of things that went wrong on Saturday include very few that having Camper and Matthews would have fixed. It's the same problems over and over. The offensive line can't block, which leads to an inability to run the ball or pass protect. The defense continues to be boom or bust, giving up huge touchdowns and not being able to create enough takeaways or big plays to make up for it. The end result is maybe the worst loss Tom Allen's had since taking over. And after a week in which he preached how much things needed to change, everything looks the same for IU football in all the most frustrating ways. And now there needs to be some pretty extensive self-examination of this program and the state of it right now. I don't really know what the fix is. I don't think there's a quick fix right now. Things are going to have to change. We'll try to continue breaking down this game and the state of the program on Locked On Hoosiers this week, so be sure to subscribe.
You just never know what Saturdays will bring you across the Big Ten throughout college football season. Minnesota and Wisconsin came in favored and then left on the short end of the stick, while Michigan and Ohio State just keep stacking up wins. Each and every week, we will continue to bring you all of the insight and analysis from across the Locked On Network. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jourdan Black, and this has been Game to Game in the Big Ten.